Hello to all astrology lovers. In this video, we will discuss the upcoming astrological event of the new moon in the zodiac sign Virgo, which will take place on September 3rd, 2024. In fact, this astrological event is very interesting, bringing completely new and special energies into our lives, especially after a very intense August. Let's take a closer look at this astrological event. But first, let me remind you that the new moon is indeed such an interesting and truly fascinating event in our lives, when the energies of our consciousness and subconscious come together and significantly influence our daily thoughts and actions. In astrology, the new moon symbolizes the beginning of a new lunar cycle. It represents the moment when the sun and the moon not only unite in the same zodiac sign, but also give birth to a completely new energy. This is a time when the moon is hidden from our sight in the sky, and it embodies a completely and utterly internal process, a process that is internal. This is a period of incubation for ideas, so to speak, and it is a time when the potential for new beginnings is laid down, and the energies in the volume are associated with renewal, naturally linked to the birth of something new, the establishment of intentions, and the formation of plans for the future. This is indeed a very excellent period for truly manifesting our desires. And in the life of every person, this manifests as a period when we can lay the foundations for new projects, set goals, and make changes in our lives. And this is indeed a truly great time to start something truly from scratch, take the initiative, and sow the seeds, so to speak. That is a time when you need to lay the groundwork so that after a certain period you can see the results of your actions and reap the fruits of your efforts. Therefore, the new moon is a very excellent period, so plan, set intentions, make wishes, and let's consider how the new moon works in general. In fact, actually any new moon, from the moment of the exact alignment of the moon and the sun, exactly, a new cycle of the waxing moon opens for 2 weeks. In this case, the waxing moon will last from approximately September 3rd to September 18th, just until the start of the autumn eclipse corridor. And it is important to consider that any new moon provides this energy of laying the groundwork, but it is also necessary to take into account the energies of the zodiac sign in which this astrological event occurs. Any new moon gives us the energy to lay plans and tasks for the next 5 to 6 months of our lives. In particular, it is the new moon in Virgo that will be active until March 14th, 2025. By March 2025, and it will conclude precisely in March, exactly with the lunar eclipse. So we will indeed see the completion of some very long development programs. That is, first of all, it should be taken into account that there will already be a second eclipse on the axis, on the karmic axis of Virgo and Pisces. The first one is coming up now on September 18th. In addition, the communal axis will change on January 11th, 2025, a series of the year 2025. This will coincide with the completion, the finale of programs lasting 9 or 18 and a half years. And it is important to note that the eclipse on September 18th will occur in the 118th Saros. Saros is, so to speak, that very program, a long-term program that we develop with each of our lives. And in March, when the lunar eclipse in Virgo occurs, which will conclude this period that we will discuss today, it will take place in the 123rd Saros. And we will definitely talk about the eclipses separately in more detailed additional videos in the future. It is important to consider that now is a very good period to close these scenarios, life situations, relationships, and development programs, and to track the essence of how all this has played out in our lives, what was emphasized, so that in the next solar eclipses, which will open new development programs, we do not make mistakes or miss opportunities and truly move towards the development of our awareness and quality of life. So the new moon is occurring in Virgo. Naturally, Virgo brings specific characteristics to the energy and unique qualities. In general, Virgo is a sign that symbolizes analysis, attention to detail, and our overall striving for perfection. That is indeed our perfectionism, our order, our improvements. And this is a time when energies are directed towards bringing order to life, both in external and internal aspects. During this period, we may feel the need to organize our space, improve our health, and increase our efficiency at work. That is, the symbolism of Virgo is associated with care, service, and critical thinking. And this new moon in this sign will highlight the importance of self-discipline for us, emphasizing the significance of analyzing current affairs and seeking practical solutions in our lives. The energies of the new moon in Virgo will support the initiation of new wellness programs, the review of daily habits, and the creation of clear plans to achieve goals. That is, the focus will be specifically on our self-development, on improving professional skills, and on striving for harmony in our everyday lives. During this period, it is very beneficial to focus on the details and develop new strategies that will help us achieve long-term results in these areas of life. The new moon in Virgo also carries a very profound meaning, not only of self-improvement, but also of critical reflection on everything that is happening in our lives. That is, the energies of this period will encourage us to be more aware and more responsible in how we lead our lives. To what extent our actions truly align with our genuine needs, values, and desires. And Virgo, being an earth sign, symbolizes practicality and reality. And the new moon in this sign will open up opportunities for us to turn our ideas into concrete actions. And this is a time when it is especially important to reassess our habits, lifestyle, and environment, making all of it more productive and healthy. This is symbolically represented by the 6th house. These are the themes of health, work, relationships with colleagues, service, and caring for others. And the energies of the new moon in Virgo will contribute to the initiation of new projects, especially in professional activities, particularly those that require attention to detail and careful planning. This is a suitable period to bring clarity to your goals, assess your resources, develop new strategies for achieving results, and move forward. The influence of Virgo will enhance the desire for order and systematic approaches, prompting us to eliminate everything unnecessary. This can include both physical clutter and emotional blocks. That is, it is important to free up space and start new endeavors. The ruler of the new moon is the planet Mercury. As we know, Mercury symbolizes above all intellect, communication, our thinking, and the ability to analyze information. And in the context of the new moon in Virgo, the influence of Mercury will be particularly strengthened as Mercury has now moved into direct motion, and it will direct our attention to mental processes such as communication and organization. In general, the new moon will emphasize our ability to plan effectively, analyze situations, and make decisions based on logic and facts. The energy of Mercury emphasizes the importance of clarity in thoughts and words, as well as the ability to adapt to circumstances. There will be a lot of information, a lot of learning, knowledge, and understanding and planning in everyday affairs. And the themes of Mercury will come to the forefront, which include communication, interaction, thinking, adaptability, and flexibility to surrounding circumstances and situations, as well as travel, movement, trade, and business. All of this is represented by Mercury. And the new moon occurs at 11:12 degrees of Virgo. The symbolism of this degree is revealed through specific images and themes that help us understand the energy of this degree in general. The symbol of the 11th degree of Virgo is a boy wrapped in a thick and warm cloak, preparing for an extremely harsh winter. That is, it is a direct, open hint or symbol that reflects, shows, demonstrates to us the necessity and theme of preparing for the future, including certain difficulties, the theme of life and survival. This emphasizes the necessity of being prepared for life's challenges, the readiness to show care for oneself and for others, and to use one's resources wisely and with foresight. The key themes of 11 degrees of Virgo are preparation and organization, the theme of self-sufficiency, and the theme of foresight and wisdom, especially in decision-making. It is very important to understand that the new moon will remind us of the aspect of the conjunction of the moon and the sun, that is our consciousness and subconscious. I believe that at this moment, when the exact conjunction of our personal planets occurs, we receive a completely new volume of energy that is unmanifested, meaning it is a volume of information that our life has not yet expressed. We receive this from the subconscious, and in the future, through our actions, we ground this energy, this information, and manifest and realize it precisely through our actions. Now let's take a look at the aspects that will be in effect during the time of the new moon. The sun will be in a converging aspect. This is a square with Jupiter in Gemini. The disharmonious aspect, however, will provide tense energies that may be related to the conflict between our striving for order, practicality, and details. The way the sun manifests in Virgo is our consciousness and desire to expand our horizons, to seek new ideas, and to communicate a lot. This is, of course, Jupiter in Gemini, and this can manifest in situations where it is necessary to balance between such careful organization, flexibility, and between an analytical approach and a broad perspective. In other words, these two planets will provide such contradictory energies. It is important to avoid excessive perfectionism and excessive optimism. One should strive to find the golden mean when this aspect is in effect. We will also have the opposition between the Sun and retrograde Saturn in Pisces, which will create tension between our individual aspirations for self-expression and our internal limitations or obstacles related to the surrounding world, our duties, responsibilities, and commitments. This configuration can manifest in situations where we face limitations that prevent us from realizing our plans and expressing our true intentions. And it is very important to understand in this aspect what internal fears are hindering us, what doubts hinder our development, and how can we overcome these internal barriers or take responsibility and resolve situations related to external obligations. The moon will also be in opposition to Saturn. Naturally, the moon represents our emotions, our subconscious. It is important to consider that the transit of the moon occurs more quickly than the transit of the sun, and in any case, there will be an internal tension here between our emotions, emotional needs, and the limitations that Saturn creates for us. This configuration can lead to feelings of emotional isolation and difficulties in expressing one's emotions and feelings due to a sense, so to speak, of lack of support or perhaps excessive self-criticism. That is, we may encounter situations where our emotional reactions conflict with reality, and naturally this requires more responsibility and acceptance from us. It is important to pay attention to the fact that our internal barriers and fears affect our emotional states, and it is worth finding a balance, the balance between fulfilling one's obligations and these inner states. Additionally, we will also have the aspect of Mercury in Leo in a square with Uranus in Taurus, and also in the trine with Chiron in Omna. It seems that there is a healing of some very important story in our lives that is connected to our material values, our material gods and resources. And considering that Chiron is included here, moreover, the tense aspect can provide us with completely unconventional ways of healing a situation, of recovery. That is, the involvement of Uranus here can also bring about some originality. Moreover, it will be difficult, of course, to adapt. We should consider that these aspects are from the third cycle, and they are already concluding a certain situation. They are healing a particular situation. At the exact moment of the new moon, Venus is currently captured by the South Node and the Black Moon. Here we have a conjunction, and Venus is actually in opposition to the future node. It is very important here to be careful not to get dragged into past programs, relationships, or situations. Here, considering that this is a conjunction, there will definitely be a series of events. It definitely feels like our karma is just working in full force. The conjunction of Venus in Libra with the South Node and the Black Moon emphasizes themes related to our past, our karma, and some deep inner shadows of our personality in relationships and matters of value. In other words, Venus in Libra seeks harmony and beauty. The equilibrium in relationships connecting with the South Node may manifest as a return to certain old behavior patterns, to recurring scenarios in relationships that are related to feelings, love, and finances. The Black Moon adds an element of temptation here, a theme of simply taboo, and includes subconscious fears. And all of this, of course, creates very tense states, situations, and challenges in our lives. In general, the configuration may bring situations where we are forced to reassess our relationships, reconsider our values, and reflect on our aesthetic preferences. Here we will confront our shadow aspects of personality and past connections. And knowing the energies of these aspects, it is important to be aware of these energies. It is truly awareness that allows us to transform them into a positive for ourselves and ultimately free ourselves from negative and recurring scenarios in our lives. In addition, it is important to consider that there will be aspects with key significant asteroids in our lives, meaning that some supercardinal changes are occurring, which relate to both our personal relationships, our values, and our finances, resources, and self-esteem as well, and emotional and mental. In addition, furthermore, Mars, the planet of our activity and actions, will also be in a challenging square aspect with Neptune. Mars is preparing to change its zodiac sign in September, at the beginning of September. However, there will certainly still be a disagreement here between our active actions and our illusory expectations, undoubtedly. Some confusion that is precisely given to us by Neptune. That is, the energy of Mars in Gemini strives for quick communication, for a variety of actions, and for achieving goals. The influence of Neptune, especially in retrograde, gives us uncertainty, brings us disappointment, and creates some confusion. This is particularly true in our intentions and our actions. In such conditions, it can indeed be quite difficult to truly understand where to really direct the energy of one's life. One may encounter situations where our efforts seem futile. Our expectations are somewhat unrealistic and unclear. During this period, it is very important to exercise caution and prudence, to avoid any illusions or misinformation, to carefully analyze one's goals, ambitions, and motivations, and to avoid self-deception above all. The most important thing to pay attention to is that the influence of astrological aspects on our lives occurs when there are similar aspects in our natal chart at the moment of the external astrological event. It is as if it synchronizes with our chart. This is important to consider. Otherwise, when there is no synchronization, the aspect does not concern us and it does not need to be attracted. And now let's consider how the new moon will work in action for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Taurus, the new moon in your 5th house is significant. Bring energies that are primarily related to creativity, your self-expression, romantic relationships, and overall joy in life. In addition, topics related to relationships and interactions with your children may also be addressed here. This new moon will encourage you to reassess and refresh your approaches to these areas of life, bringing more order to them, more structure, and attention to detail. Virgo, generally ruled by Mercury, emphasizes and activates your analytical thinking and practicality. It can help you find entirely new ways to express your creative ideas, improve your hobbies, or discover new hobbies for yourself, enhance romantic relationships, or improve your relationships with your children. The themes that will be included by this new moon may also relate to issues concerning your creative projects and what brings you joy and satisfaction in life. This means it is a time when you can make changes in your romantic relationships, reassess your approaches to raising children, and find new, more effective ways to realize your creative ideas. In order to work with the energy of this new moon, it is important for you to focus on the practical aspects of your creative and romantic initiatives. Try to structure your projects, pursue your passions in a more organized manner, and find ways to improve your skills in areas that interest you. In romantic relationships, pay attention to the details. It is precisely the details and attention that will help improve your relationships, strengthen and enhance understanding with your partner. And this is also a good time to reflect on what brings you joy in life. I wish you success. Subscribe and like.